Late afternoon, late afternoon show with late afternoon. Yes, with Lily.
Welcome back to a late afternoon show. I'm your host, Liliana Link, and this is episode 2 of our first season. Since we last saw each other, we celebrated the new year and rang in 2021. I celebrated by doing absolutely nothing and staying in my room all day. How exciting! And here are this week's top stories. Did you make a New Year's resolution? Chances are, by now, you've already messed that up. But here are a few tips to help you work towards these goals without beating yourself up. Tip 1. Stop believing you can or should make life altering changes overnight. If you didn't work out at all in 2020, then it's probably a little ambitious to try to start doing that every single day. Add a little of your goal at a time. Be proud of yourself if you make any progress. Tip 2. Don't beat yourself up over it. In fact, if you make any progress at all, celebrate. And tip 3. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Just stop. You're perfect just the way you are. And if you want to get a little better at being who you are, great. But you don't have to try to be someone else. Here's a tasty holiday treat that's here to stay. Picture this: a hollow chocolate ball filled with a variety of delicious treats like marshmallows or more chocolate, sprinkles, really anything. You drop it into a mug of warm milk and bam, it explodes into a delicious drink of delectable goodness. Well, if you haven't tried them, they're hot chocolate bombs and they are the bomb. If you couldn't make them yourself, they were a hot commodity all holiday season, and one of my 2021 predictions is that they are here to stay. What do you get when you fuse two of my passions, musical theater and TikTok? Well, apparently, with a talented creator, an adorable rodent as a muse, and a little star power among your collaborators, you get a Broadway bound full scale musical that has already raised over $2 million to support the Actors Fund. That's right, Ratatouille is the first TikTok musical and an international sensation. Fun fact: those of us who attended the Junior Theater Festival in past years have had the privilege of being in the same room with the musical's creator, Dan Mertzleft. Did you know that on Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, the largest festival of student performers typically held in Atlanta, Georgia? This festival gathers thousands of students from around the world to attend an awesome weekend of workshops, celebrity performances, master classes, student performances, and awards. It's musical theater heaven. I've had the opportunity to go myself. Can we get a picture? Yeah, there it is. So this is me when I was 5 or 6 accepting this award on stage for New York All Stars. I had no idea those guys were famous. So this year, the entire festival moved to a fully virtual event that is still full of the same really awesome experiences. To learn more about attending a Junior Theater Festival event in person or virtually with your performing arts group, visit juniortheaterfestival.org. And on the topic of musical theater, two of my friends, who I also get to perform with regularly as a member of the New York All Stars Pops team, will be joining us as guests today. First, I will be interviewing my friend Olivia Rodriguez. As just 10 years old, she's done a lot of professional work as an actor, and we are going to get all of her juicy insider tips. Welcome, Olivia. It's so great to have you on the show.
It's so great to be here.
So, in addition to your training, you've done a lot of professional work. When exactly did you start?
I started when I was 8 years old and I got signed with an agency.
Ooh, very cool. So, what are some of your favorite jobs that you've booked?
Well, my top 3 favorite jobs are probably a McDonald's commercial, children's place modeling, and an LG commercial, which is kind of weird, but it's because there was this big dog and he was so sweet and so cute and such well trained.
So how often would you say that you're auditioning?
I'm auditioning a few times a week, and they could be voiceovers. They could be for all different stuff like voiceovers, commercials, movies, shows.
Wow, that sounds absolutely exhausting. So take us through your audition process. How do you find out you've gotten on an audition?
Usually my mom gets an email from my agent saying what I have to do, where I have to be, what time it has to be submitted, and stuff like that. Since COVID and everything, I usually do a lot of self tapes because you can't go in and all of that stuff.
Nice. So what do you typically do to prepare?
I usually try to memorize most of my lines and usually ask my mom to read the other lines so I can just know what the other people are saying to memorize mine and stuff like that.
Cool. So what is it like when you get into the audition room? Is it scary? Is it exciting?
It depends. Sometimes there could be 2 people, usually even one sometimes. But sometimes there could be a bunch of people, 10. And sometimes I go in really happy and excited because I know everything. And sometimes I go in completely scared that I don't know if I get it or not.
So the next question is, have you ever done anything strange or funny for an audition?
Yes, there was this one, it was a Netflix show, and I had to do something crazy for it. I had to say a bunch of curse words that I would never say, and I had to pretend I had a shotgun and all that stuff. And it was so hard not to crack up while filming it. And even my agent was cracking up. It was not a natural read at all.
That is absolutely hilarious. So have you ever bombed one or had something embarrassing happen?
Yes, I've probably bombed a few. There was one and they just gave me the script. When I went in, they just gave me the script and I had to memorize it in 2 minutes. And I was so scared. And when I went in, I had no clue what to say and I had to keep looking at the lines.
So, how do you typically find out you've gotten a job or vice versa?
Usually my mom, she gets a contact from our agent and she says, "Oh, you booked it and you'll go here at this time." But usually if I don't get it, nothing really happens. They don't really say anything. But other times I really wanted some, but I didn't quite get them. But me and my mom always say that the most important thing to remember that if it's right for you, it's meant to be, and that it's not a reflection on your talent, but what they're looking for.
Thank you, Olivia, so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was super fun.
Next, please welcome our musical guest, my good friend, Ava Yakubon Neves. She's appeared on stage at Radio City Music Hall as well as Madison Square Garden. Here she is to sing Friend Like Me from Disney's Aladdin.
Corner now, wishing in your town.
segment, it's the world's worst countdown. Today we will be talking about the world's worst New Year's resolutions. And here are the top 5 world's worst New Year's resolutions. Number 5, when you have the same as last year's, the year before, and the year before. I think that it's fun to do something new each year. Number 4, now this one's a little bit hard to explain, so I'm going to give an example. Let's say you have a cousin and he's allergic to peanuts. So then you ask him what's his New Year's resolution, and he says not to eat peanuts. Really? Number 3 is drink more water. I think that should be something more that's, in your lifestyle than as a New Year's resolution. Number 2 would be something unrealistic, like marrying a celebrity in the month of January. I mean, it's not really gonna happen. And number 1, the world's worst New Year's resolution is to catch up on TV. I think that New Year's resolutions are supposed to make you better, and this resolution is just kind of going in the wrong direction. And that's our show. Thank you so much for watching the Late Afternoon Show with Liliana Lake.